for the 25th of November. Oh, she's talking to me now over here. That's when you get these modern computers. What can you say? Anyway, folks, I'm delighted to be here with you for 3 at 3, presented by Market Rebellion Television. Our disclaimer that the lawyers make me say every day is that this service is for educational and informational purposes only, and that all investments involve risk. Factual. Intellectual property rights. The lawyers also like me to remind you that we have patents, trademarks, copyrights, registered marks on virtually everything you are about to see. So please ask us prior to reproducing it in any fashion. And of course, when we give you that permission, please cite marketrebellion.com. Dow 30 thou, yes, still hanging around. Now, at mid-session today, the Dow has slipped by 100 and, let's see, 150 points, is that? Or is it 160 points? 180 points. So we're at 29,853. So the Dow 30 thou watch is back on. I just love those things. Let's talk about the QQQ. Why? Because yesterday we talked about it and we saw unusual activity in the QQQ. And as we saw that, it was 292.05. Guess where it went today, folks? 295.93 or 296, let's say. So, took off some nice profits already and looking forward to more. Feasting on the fear. Fear, that is, that we stop seeing the flow into these big cap, mega cap NASDAQ names. That's not stopping. Might have slowed down for a little bit. People gathering some other stuff up, but it's not over yet, folks. All right. What about crypto rebellion? You've heard me talking about crypto. You've heard Mike Novogratz. You've heard the Winklevoss twins, Charlie Shrem, Pompliano, Anthony. You've heard Alex Macioli, all of us talking about crypto. Why? Because it's a great way to diversify your portfolio. And I own a lot of crypto. Sad to say that I don't hold as much Bitcoin as I once did, but nonetheless, still own Bitcoin, Ethereum, and 3 others that I'm not at liberty to talk about right now. So let's get started with Market Rebellion /crypto, and you can learn all about it as well. It's a great way to learn, and it's an app that you can download from the Apple App Store. Halftime report. Yep, I was on the halftime today. Got a bunch of pictures and fun stuff to show you coming right up. One of them is this, Lowe's. LOW, we saw it when it was $153 this morning when it traded down and then started to make a comeback. We noticed the March 170 calls. If you go back, usually you see Lowe's and Home Depot seeing a pretty good move in March, and for that reason, we surmised that somebody might be buying the upside calls in Lowe's, and they were. We joined them. I'll probably be in these calls in the neighborhood of a couple months. There is a chart of Lowe's. As you see now, $155.33 a share. Now, this one is one that's going to astound you because Palantir, PLTR, is a stock that I'm happy to say I own. Happy to say that when it was coming public at 10, I said, no way in hell I'm selling it there. This thing's worth a lot more than that. Anybody who did sell it there, you know what they are. A turkey. You got it. Only a turkey would sell this stock at $10 a share. I will be selling it significantly higher than that. And look at the flow in here. Just getting bigger every day. The January 30 call volume, they were buying all the way up to the May 40s in here. There is a chart that shows you just this over the last week of trade. Stock moving from $17.50 to $29. Bang! That, my friends, will pay the bills. And it has. Thank you very much. This is what that looks like on our heat seeker. Look at that. 835,000 calls. That is today, folks. I mean, I talked about work, which is slack, and it allegedly is getting the tires kicked by one Mark Benioff over at Salesforce. But Palantir, PLTR, my gosh, look at those strike prices. The expiring November calls at the 30 strike, they expire Friday, by the way. 30 strike, 67,000. The 28 strike, 43,000. 27 strike, 40,000. 26 strike, 34,000. You get the idea. There is an awful lot of buying, buy, in Palantir. 835,000. This is the kind of number you expect to see on a busy day in Apple. And this is Palantir, a stock that has only been trading since, give or take, September 30th, I think, when they came through their listing on the NYSE. So I am long Palantir, longer than I've ever been in Palantir, in fact, right now. And that amount of volume is why. Now I've got something else to show you because Scott and I were both looking around saying, well, what's going on with this work? I sent them, CNBC, some unusual activity in work. Moved before we could even get it on air, folks. This one I talked about at the start of the show. It was trading there. 67,000 contracts on the call side. You see those columns on the bottom of that picture, folks? Then the first column to the left is exchanges that trade it. Amex, Arca, BATS, and so forth. The middle column, of course, is calls. The far right column is puts. So at the beginning of halftime, already had this stock jumped to $36 a share. We were just, it was too much already. And we said, we can't do that for unusual. They'd already come out, the Wall Street Journal then did, and said, hey, somebody is rumoring to us that Mr. Benioff might be a buyer here. And look at that volume, 67,000 contracts. And then, how about this? During the show, it tripled up on that. 187,000 contracts on the call side, 59,000 on the put side. So we were in and out of this, did not hold it in through the show in any size because I'd already traded out, but wanted to get you guys focused on this kind of volume because, again, a stock that does not normally have it, except in the case of course, a takeover, you can understand why they might be buying so aggressively in work, which the name of the company, of course, is Slack. And it is no slouch today. All right, I wanted to also show you this, folks, and then I'll do a couple quick questions. One, Nikola, down $5 today, earlier on. But had you sold or written, as we say, you write calls, you sold them, at the money DC35 calls against your stock yesterday, you collected $5 and you're fine today. In other words, that insulation that the sale of those calls brought you, if you did this, and I am not in Nikola anymore, but it would have protected. I said all of these EVs should have calls sold against them because they had run so much so fast. So selling it at the money, not out of the money, at the money against it, you collect a lot of premium and the stock can just sit there or go down and you've protected yourself, and or you could use it as an exit if you choose to. So in the case of Lee, LI, it was down $4 today, but if you'd sold those at the money DC45s that we talked about all week, we've been talking about selling at the monies in here. Well, if you did, that $6 insulates you even further to the downside. NEO, same thing. It's down $2, or it was today, down $2. But had you sold or written at the money DC55 calls when the stock was there yesterday or the day before, you could have collected $6 plus for those calls. And that means you're protected against a lot more than a $2 drop in the stock. You'd be protected against a $6 drop in the stock. Bang. Question time. All right. Do we actually have questions? Let me see. Palantir. Yeah, my buddy Jaws. Jaws MJ says, Palantir 29.63 cruising to 40. Yes. Jon Najarian, Palantir action January calls on half. Pete Najarian mentioned call activity on the take. Giddy up. I like it. Palantir, PLTR, bang. More Palantir? You bet. Options trader Bob was going back and forth with a couple people on Twitter, and he said, Palantir parabolic after Jon Najarian call out on CNBC. Thank you, option trader Bob, which is Robert K.A.O. Appreciate it, sir. It was a nice trade, and we are continuing to ride and write calls. Remember, discipline dictates action. So what better time for me to emphasize to you guys that when you have a big winner and an option doubles, you take some off, folks. That's what I do. I can't pull the trigger for you. You have your own investment advisors, or you're trading for yourself like option trader Bob. I can tell you, however, that years of experience have told me and taught me that when an option doubles, I take half off, let the rest run. And then as it keeps running, hopefully, I sell more calls against the calls that I own to lock in profits. That's what I do on winners. Not every trade's a winner. I never said they were. When the stock goes against me, if I'm bullish in Palantir and now it's flipped and it's going against me, I will cut my losses at 50% on an option trade, not on stocks. So when I have an option that I buy for $1.50, that option falls to 80, I am out. Because 75.80, I am out because I've lost half of that investment. Using that discipline, folks, keeps me at the tables longer, gives me an opportunity to actually be disciplined about losses as well as profits, which you have to be to stick in this game. A little even more Palantir? Yeah, one of you guys was shooting me a little picture of me from the office here with even more Palantir. Bang! You already saw how many calls had traded, 845,000. That's more Palantir. Like to learn more about unusual option activity? You know what? We have a Black Friday special coming up. It just got posted. I'll let you guys check it out at marketrebellion.com. Black Friday special, marketrebellion.com. Blue light special, marketrebellion.com. And if you'd like to learn more about unusual option activity, go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. Hey, folks, thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be safe, be happy, enjoy, and I'll see you on Monday. Bang!